This is Ryan Abraham and Chris Trevino for USCFootball.com. Instant analysis after USC fall practice number 16, I believe Clay Helton said it was. First practice of mock game week. Of course, USC plays San Jose State about a week and a half, September 4th. But camp is now over. The scrimmage is done. They're getting ready to play San Jose State. And we're going to talk to Chris Trevino about this. No Keely Ewer, no shotgun sprattling. They're in health and safety protocol, so it's up to us today.
We are down our all-American TV people, so we're going to the backups.
Yeah, we went to the film studio, the film area. I don't know where this is part of campus, but a little bit different than where they shoot instant analysis. But Chris, overall, you mentioned something when we were watching practice. Seems like the healthiest they've been in fall camp for quite a while. A couple guys on Rehab Island, but for the most part, guys are pretty healthy.
Yeah, it definitely felt like the healthiest we've seen since the start of fall camp. Not a lot of guys on Rehab Island, not a lot of guys watching team warmups, which is an indication of how banged up the team is going into that practice. The only new people that we saw were Gino Quinones, the O-lineman. He was on the sideline watching practice, but the big news was the return of Darren Barlow and Keaton Ingram. Clay Helton said on Saturday that he expects them to be back this week.
Yeah, held
up that promise, so they were out there and they got a ton of work.
Yeah, we got to see a lot of them. My boy Josh Jackson was still out. That's unfortunate. Corey Foreman didn't do a whole lot individual work. He was on Rehab Island a bit too. He still was in full patch, but for the most part, like you said, it was healthy. But seeing those two running backs, Clay Helton said he made a couple horse references about them. There are big horses out there. They're chomping at the bit to get back. I talked to Keaton Ingram, and he was really excited. He didn't feel there was any rust. He's a very confident dude. He's like, I'm a veteran. This is all old hat to me. He can go out and play. Wasn't going to be nervous running through the tunnel, so he just seems like he's ready to get out there and run the ball. What did Darren Barlow, one of my other guys there, what did he have to say?
Darwin, the other veteran Texas running back, yes, he had some of the similar thoughts. He said, you know, the injury was ill-timed. He was really excited to get back out there. Obviously, he was a little bit behind just because Keaton was here in the spring. Right. He wasn't here in the spring. He got here in the summer, so he felt a little bit behind, but he was also chomping at the bit. He was telling them that, you know, he had to be really patient because he just wanted to get back out there so bad. You know, he felt like he was going to the doctors like, I feel good, but they were like, no, you gotta wait. So he said, I'm going to take their advice. They know what they're doing, and he feels 100% healthy. And we saw a couple of nice runs from him today. Yeah,
two East Texas guys, and Ingram was like, he's his little brother, you know, because Ingram's been around a little bit longer. Barlow, so I think he's got 4 years of eligibility left with all this stuff. One concerning thing you get to see, Drake London, obviously one of the studs of the team, goes through individual drills first out, and Chris points out he's got ice on his ankle, so he was a limited guy today.
Yeah, he's been dealing with that ankle for about a week, going back to that final week of fall camp. Obviously, he was held out of the first scrimmage. He was not happy with that, but he said, you know, got to look at the big picture. Second scrimmage on Saturday, we saw him do a little bit of work, 2 series, and then Helton yanked him right out there. Yeah. Again, he probably wasn't happy with that, but today I noticed that he wasn't really with the individual drills early. He was standing with the trainer, he was talking with the trainer, and they were making him do some like team warm-up drills that we would see with the large group, doing some foot stuff, doing a little bit of running, just trying to work the ankle out. And I saw Helton really keying on him and watching him and seeing him go through that. And then he eventually joined the on-air route group. But then after that, we did not see him for the 101 portion. He had that ball of ice wrapped around his left ankle, I believe, so he was done for the day. But the ice was removed later in practice, and he seemed kind of fine after practice. But, you know, something to watch as we approach that season opener, because that's a guy you need out there.
For sure. A couple of newsy items. Clay Helton was very proud. He said 100%, we got to go back and check the exact words, 100% compliant as far as team vaccination goes. 119 members of the team have been vaccinated. It sounds like everyone's been vaccinated. So, I mean, he didn't come out and say that, but that's what it sounded like.
Yeah, we had to kind of do a little bit of data searching for his words. We had to go back and listen, but he did say 100% compliant, and then he kind of followed it up with 119 men have been vaccinated, so we're taking that as 119 players have been vaccinated, and he confirmed that that is just players, that's not including staff.
Right. So that's I mean, I don't think you have more players than that, so it seems like everybody is vaccinated, so that's good. I mean, certainly one of the big issues coming in this season, you don't want to miss a game in the Pac-12 now. If you miss a game because of COVID, you lose it's a forfeiture, so you don't want that. Other little piece of news, Keely Ewer did a good job breaking the news today. Jordan Iosefa, the longtime USC linebacker, has had a bunch of knee problems, a kneecap that's been dislocated a couple times, multiple surgeries. Clay Helton was asked about, so she reported that he's going to medically retire, went to the coaches to say he was going to medically retire. Clay Helton was sort of like, you know, he acknowledged that, but it sounds like from what he was saying, they're still trying to get him to stick around. He's like Coach ISFA out in the field, so he's definitely helping out. They're gonna, but he's not been, after the surgeries, he's not been where they wanted him to be.
Right, yeah, he really did not want to confirm it. He didn't say it out loud like he is medically retired. He left the tiniest crack open for the possibility. Yeah, like you said, called him Coach ISF. I saw him come out of the tunnel early in the camp, or early in practice, and you know, he had a big smile on his face. Classic Jordan ISF. Had some snacks. He looked like he was in a good mood. He was out there. Did not really see him rehabbing. I don't know. That's usually been his schedule, but yeah, Clay Helton would not confirm that he was medically retired, but it sounds like he's going to be obviously part of this team as a guideline on the sideline for these young linebackers.
Yeah, so we'll see what transpires there. But he was on a bike earlier in practice. But yeah, for the most part, I didn't know if we would see him out there, but he's still going to be out there. He's still going to be part of this team, and he's helping some of the other linebackers there. He's got a lot of experience, so I think that's certainly going to help. I got to talk to Clint Mcguire, the offensive line coach, and you had talked about, he said over the weekend that they wanted everything decided as far as like the tackles go. Today we saw Portland Ford at the first team left tackle and Jonah Monheim at the first team right tackle. They mixed it up a little bit on one of the reps, but he told me it's still not decided yet, that they've got the 2 deep pretty much in mind. They got their top 7 or 8. Having freshmen in there, like inexperienced guys, certainly, it's a good competition when you have like a guy like a freshman like Jonah Monheim and a senior like Jalen McKenzie. So he said it's been a tough competition. I think Clay Helton said the same thing. So it sounds like they're still not there as far as what the decision's going to be.
Yeah, Helton had said over the weekend that Tuesday was kind of be like the final day of competition, just the final look to see, who's going to play where, maybe the last push by someone to win a starting job. And I think we're kind of seeing that, but the first team O-line, like you said, was Ford at the left tackle, Monheim at the right, and then the very next series we saw with the first team, it was Jalen at the right and Monheim at the left. So that just threw us even more confused, like, okay, we don't know anything. They're still kind of looking at it, so that competition is still a little bit up in the air, but Helton did say that he would sit down with the two, Jalen McKenzie and Jonah Monheim, and he would tell them, this week, where they stand, like who's going to be the starter, who's going to be that swing tackle. Yeah. So we should know soon.
And it sounds like, even though Monheim got some first team reps at left tackle, you feel like Ford was there all spring. He's going to do that. And Clint Mcguire told me that Monheim is like probably the smartest lineman they have. He's just great. He's great with the media. I talked to him last week or whatever, and he talked again today. Just a great kid, someone that you're going to root for. He talked about the communication stuff. He's someone that can help with that. Most of it goes through Brett Milan, and that's his job, trying to simplify things on the offensive line so they don't have kind of communication breakdowns. So it'll be interesting to see how that progresses. As far as we talked about, Drake London being out, and he wasn't going to be in there. When you got to talk to Taj Washington today, did you get to talk to him today? Or
yeah, I did. Yeah. I was in that scrum. You made eyes with me because you requested Taj. You were like, I need someone over there, and I got over there.
But so you got over there. Just quick feet. When you watch him like running routes and stuff, and he just makes a little move, he's fast, but he's got such quick feet. Those moves are crazy.
Yeah, it's like I believe you said he's on water. He can probably walk on water. That's how quick he is. But it's nice to see him have a confidence boost after the last week of fall camp. Was really inconsistent, wasn't kind of standing out like we had seen in that first week when he was juking guys out, making a beautiful deep catch early in fall camp. So Saturday was huge for him, just to get that confidence. It looked like that had carried over a little bit because he was dominant in the one-on-ones. Yeah. He was a problem for anyone that he came up against, and he had a really nice practice. And he just said he's doing what the team has asked for him, not trying to do too much. He thinks he's done enough to prove that he's a starter, and he's worked with the ones a lot. Today he did as well. Him and Katie Nixon were kind of the two first guys with your boy, Joseph Manjack. Did get a lot of reps.
That's everybody's boy, yeah.
So yeah, a lot of rotation with that first team, but it seemed like Washington and Nixon were the consistent today with the first.
Yeah, Nixon's been impressive to me for sure. One of the guys that was really impressive in the scrimmage was Keaton Kristen. We didn't get to see a lot of him today because it was the Barlow and Ingram show, because they were both back from injury.
Helton did say that, they wanted to give those guys a lot of reps this week. We didn't see any of Avai. He said, Avai Malapaya, he's a veteran guy, has all those carries on him. They don't need to see him in action. So it was Ingram and Barlow, a little bit of Brandon Campbell, but for the most part, it was just the Texas guys. Keenan did get a break, but I did talk to Keenan. He said he felt he had a good scrimmage. He wanted to go out there and prove himself out there in that setting. Coach Jinks gave him the assignment of showing more aggression coming off spring camp. He said he felt a little bit behind just because he was coming from a track season. He felt a little bit behind just with the new calls up front with the offense.
Yeah.
Some things that were changing, new coaches, so we had to get used to that. You know, he felt he did what he wanted to do. He wanted to come out there and prove that he could be an every down back. And he was a little bit upset, not upset, but he was a little bit surprised, if you will, that someone was able to catch him when he had that big open field run. He claims he's the fastest guy on the team, and I think that's pretty true. He says no one has challenged him yet for that title. They make jokes about it, but no one's taken that from him. So he was a little bit frustrated that someone caught him from behind on this big run, because otherwise that was 6.
Yeah.
That was 6 all day.
We want to see him and Taj race. Taj Washington, that'd be a fun race.
I think that I'm still going with Keaton.
Keaton Kristen, yeah. I mean, he's a super track guy. Yeah.
Washington's quick. I just think long haul, it's gonna be number 23.
All right. Well, Chris, I think we hit all the newsy stuff. Any final thoughts? Keely always asks, any final thoughts about practice today?
The one thing that maybe we thought would get settled, the backup quarterback.
Oh,
that's pretty important going into this. But we saw Jackson mainly working with the second team today. He was the first quarterback off the bench when they brought in the second unit. But I wouldn't take a lot of that because we did see Miller come in, and it could just be part of the rotation because this camp we've seen some days it's Miller that comes in first with the second team, some days it's Jackson. It could just have been Jackson's day, but I think we'll know more as the week goes on. But I just wanted to note that Jackson did come off first with the second team unit, and then Miller worked in after that.
Yeah, Miller had a couple good series in there when he got in, and our RJ Abadia talked to Graham Harrell about it a little bit. He sort of punted it off, I guess, to Clay. So they wanted to kind of decide things by today. Maybe they watched the film. We'll get to talk to Clay again on Thursday, so maybe Thursday morning we'll have more clarification on what that is going to be. But that's going to wrap things up. Chris Trevino, I'm Ryan Abraham. Thanks for watching Instant Analysis. Make sure you check out uscfootball.com for more.